In life, many of us struggle to find the answers to our greatest challenges. Often, we look outward, hoping to pinpoint a source of our obstacles, whether it's people, circumstances, or some unforeseen event. However, the most significant battles we face are often not with the world around us, but with the person staring back at us in the mirror. This truth, though difficult to accept, is a powerful realization. Your biggest enemy is not someone else, but yourself. Understanding that it's you against you is crucial to unlocking your full potential. It's not an external force that limits you, but your own habits, fears, and decisions. Once you accept that the only person who can stop you is yourself, an entirely new path opens up. This realization leads to an internal struggle, where each step you take forward requires you to confront your weaknesses, doubts, and insecurities. But as you persist, you will see that overcoming these internal hurdles will take you further than you ever thought possible. The battle with oneself is not something unique to a few individuals. It is a universal experience. Every person, at some point in their lives, has wrestled with feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, or fear. But the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stagnant is the willingness to confront those internal battles. Successful individuals are not exempt from self-doubt, nor are they devoid of fear. They simply refuse to let those emotions dictate their actions. They push forward, knowing that real growth comes from consistently doing what is necessary, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. In this journey of self-confrontation, many realizations come to light. You begin to see that your mind, more than any external factor, shapes your reality. It's not about waiting for perfect conditions to start making changes in your life. It's about taking action, regardless of the obstacles that stand in your way. Whether or not you ever reach your highest goals, the process of continually challenging yourself will transform you into someone stronger, more resilient, and more capable. And in the end, that's what matters most. As we dive into this exploration of self-battles, remember, the path to success is paved not with the avoidance of difficulty, but with the willingness to face it head-on. Your most formidable opponent is not the world, it's yourself. So many people spend years searching for external reasons for their failures, overlooking the most significant factor themselves. The truth is, the only person who consistently stands in your way is you. It's a battle between your current self and the person you have the potential to become. This conflict manifests in different forms for everyone, but the essence remains the same. It's your own mindset, habits, and decisions that determine how far you'll go in life. Many people, especially when they're young, believe they're destined for failure. They think they are losers because they haven't experienced any significant wins in life yet. That feeling of being a failure can become ingrained until you break the cycle. In my own experience, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning. For me, martial arts was the turning point. It was through the discipline, practice, and eventual victories in martial arts that I learned that success wasn't about being inherently good at something. It was about continually improving. I realized that just because I had failed before didn't mean I would always fail. If you keep repeating the same mistakes, the problem isn't the mistake itself. The problem is you. It's always you against you. The most significant problem many people have is misunderstanding this core concept. They don't realize that the struggle is internal, not external. Some might misunderstand the actions or words of others, but the real misunderstanding comes when you don't recognize that you are your own biggest obstacle. If you don't want to fix the problem, that's when you truly run into issues. You must be willing to confront yourself, to dive deep into your own weaknesses, and push past them. Even if you don't think you'll ever fully conquer them, you have to be able to challenge yourself. That's the essence of self-growth. Every day, when you wake up, there's only one voice you need to listen to, your own. It doesn't matter if you achieve all your goals today or not. In the grand scheme of things, none of it will matter in 3 generations. The people who doubt you, criticize you, or oppose you, they'll all be forgotten, and so will you. What really matters is whether you're doing it for yourself. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you prepared to give up to achieve what you truly want? If you shut your mind off to the possibilities, you'll never reach your potential. But if you remain open, if you tell yourself, I can do this, then doors will open that you never thought possible. Fear can feel like a vast ocean standing between you and your goals. It seems insurmountable, as if you'll drown the moment you step into it. But here's the truth. Fear is wide, but shallow. It might look intimidating from afar, but once you take that first step, you realize it's not as deep as you thought. You won't drown. In fact, as you keep walking, you'll find that you can easily push through it. This is the visualization that has helped many people, myself included, overcome anxiety about big decisions. We often build up fears in our minds, making them seem larger than they really are. But when you face them head-on, you discover that they aren't as dangerous or overwhelming as they first appeared. There will be days when everything feels like too much. On those days, it's critical to be your own motivator. No one else can push you forward when you're in the trenches of life, battling your personal demons. You have to become your own coach, your own trainer, your own mentor. And to do that, you have to be ready to work, even when you don't feel like it. When I define learning, I don't think of it as simply acquiring new knowledge. I think of it as experiencing the same situation but responding differently. It's about changing your behavior in response to the conditions you find yourself in. Take a video game, for example. If you're playing against a tough boss and you keep using the same tactics that get you killed every time, you haven't learned anything. You're in the same conditions, repeating the same actions, and getting the same results. The same principle applies to life. If you face the same challenges over and over, but don't change your approach, you'll keep failing. There was a moment in my life when I weighed almost 300 pounds. I was sitting on a rock, freezing cold, contemplating giving up. There were no inspirational quotes, no speeches, no external motivators. It was just me and the harsh reality of my situation. In that moment, I had a decision to make, to quit or to keep going. That decision changed my life. If you're stuck battling the same challenges repeatedly and not changing what you're doing, then the problem isn't the challenge. It's you. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life. For the longest time, I thought I had to wait until everything was aligned, until the stars were perfectly in place, to show up as the best version of myself. I told myself, once I have everything figured out, then I'll reveal my true self. But that moment never comes. Life is messy. Things will never be perfectly aligned. In the meantime, as you wait for the perfect moment, you're burning through precious time. You're burning the candle at both ends, waiting for the light to be bright enough to finally act. But by the time you feel ready, the candle may have already melted away. You have to learn how to get up and get things done even when nothing seems to be going your way. When your life feels like a dungeon and everything around you is falling apart, that's when you have to be your own hero. Each day presents choices: to stay in bed and avoid your responsibilities, or to rise and take action. Every single day you have the option to say, forget it, I'm not working hard today. But you must find the strength within yourself to say, I'm going to push through this. No one else can do it for you. The motivation to keep going has to come from within. It has to be constantly present, right at the forefront of your mind, ready to be called upon in those dark moments when everything feels like it's falling apart. In those moments, you must dig deep and find that spark that keeps you moving forward. Most people don't realize that the willpower and determination they seek externally already exist inside them. It's just a matter of unlocking it. Many people operate at their talent level and stop there. When they reach the limits of their natural abilities, they quit. But that's when the real challenge begins. Life is a constant tug of war, and you don't win it by pushing the rope. You win it by pulling. Pulling yourself through the tough times, pulling yourself out of bed when you don't want to, pulling yourself forward when life is trying to pull you back. That's the real test. This morning, I didn't want to get up, but I pulled myself out of bed and went for a run. And with each step I took, I started to feel stronger. Confidence is built step by step, but you won't gain it unless you're willing to take that first step. You have to pull yourself out of the negative mindset, out of the funk, and out of the challenges life throws at you. Only then will you realize that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought. Why do we keep hitting the same hurdles in life? Why do we fail at the same challenges over and over again? It's because we're operating within the limits of our talent. And when our talent runs out, our minds have nothing left to offer. Most people don't want success badly enough to push past their natural limits. They stop when the going gets tough. And that's why they stay stuck. Everyone asks, how did you get to where you are? The truth is, you already know how to do it. You know exactly what it takes to be successful. But the problem is, you don't want to do it. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to dig deep and pull out a version of yourself that you may not even believe exists. But that's the journey. It's about fighting through the self-doubt and the negative voices in your head telling you that you're not good enough. No matter how successful you become, that little voice inside will always be there. It will always tell you you're not good enough. Even the best in the world hear that voice. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people push through it. They don't let that voice control their actions. They acknowledge it, but they keep moving forward anyway. Achieving success is not about having talent. It's about putting in consistent effort. Many people build confidence and belief in different ways. Some can read a book and feel motivated. Others attend yoga classes or come from supportive families. But for many of us, confidence has to be built from the ground up. Coming from a place of self-doubt or insecurity, you must work tirelessly to create a belief in yourself that no one else can give you. The reality is, there will always be parties to attend, celebrations to join, and distractions pulling you away from your goals. The bars are always open, but opportunities to pursue your dreams aren't. You have to seize the moment, because life won't wait for you. Achieving your goals requires you to do things you don't want to do. You may not feel like getting up early, putting in the extra work, or sacrificing your free time, but that's what it takes to grow. Addiction, for example, has a cure, but it only works one day at a time. Every day is a renewal, a chance to make the right choices. It's the same with self-improvement. You don't change overnight. It takes years of dedication and hard work to transform yourself. But if you commit to it every day, you will see the results. The journey to success is rarely a short one. Most successful people I know didn't achieve their goals in a few months or even a few years. It took many years of hard work with little to no reward. They had to sacrifice their time, their social lives, and the things they enjoyed in order to pursue something greater. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't fun, but it was necessary. They had to dedicate a season of their lives to doing things they didn't want to do because they knew that the ultimate reward was worth it. In those moments of self-doubt, it's easy to think, I'm not good enough. Even the most successful people in the world still hear that voice. No matter how much you achieve, that little part of you will always feel inadequate, like you don't belong. But you have to keep pushing through it. You have to remind yourself that success isn't about feeling confident all the time. It's about taking action, even when you don't feel ready. The most valuable lesson I've learned in my journey is that the battle is always with yourself. No matter how much external success you achieve, you will always have to confront the internal struggles, the self-doubt, the fear, and the temptation to give up. But if you're willing to face those challenges head-on, you will discover strength you never knew you had. Success is not about talent or luck. It's about consistently showing up, doing the work, and pushing through the discomfort. It's about pulling yourself forward when life tries to hold you back. Every decision you make, every step you take, adds up to who you will become. And in the end, the only person who can determine your success is you. The battle is never over, but it's a battle worth fighting. Because in the end, when you look back on your life, you won't remember the times you took the easy way out. You'll remember the moments when you fought through the pain, the doubt, and the fear to become the person you are always meant to be.